Tri-State classrooms will look a little different soon. That's because the Regional Office of Education that serves Hancock, Schuyler, McDonough, and Fulton counties is receiving several grants worth more than $600,000.
One of those grants will be used to help strengthen distance learning. WGEM's Dylan Smith has more.
If you're talking about the ones that unite nations.
Students are well accustomed to learning in the classroom, even though that's changed a little bit over the years with virtual learning.
We'll have cameras, microphones, massive screen TVs.
And that's about to be taken to a new level. All $600,000 of a federal grant from the USDA will give a select number of schools the ability to be in the same class, but still in their own school.
And it'll be able to connect their classrooms with other schools and also some colleges that are within the network for distance learning opportunities for classes that some of these rural schools would never be able to offer.
The regional superintendent, John Meixner, says the concept was heightened by the pandemic, but the teacher shortage is the root cause that made this technology a necessity. He thinks of it as sharing teachers.
It's a pipeline issue. We have a serious pipeline issue, and the demand is greater as well.
Another $25,000 is being geared towards education for one of the ROE's own. Christine Nicholson will now be able to attend a Chicago Institute's mental health consultant program.
An infant and early childhood mental health consultant works directly with the staff at programs to support them in their work supporting families around mental health services for young children and building emotionally safe homes for these families.
And another $10,000 will be used to create a teenage resource closet. That, along with the new tech for distance learning, Meixner says should be in place for the new school year. In Macomb, Dylan Smith, WGEM News.
And Meixner says this is the first time ROE number 26 has received a federal grant.